The word declension can have a couple of different related meanings. When you take the word puella and give it the am ending and make it accusative, in the study of Latin we say that we decline the noun. The process of declining is called declension. On the other hand, a group of nouns that take the same endings is also called a declension. All the nouns we encountered in chapters 1 through 2 took the a ending when they were nominative and the am ending when they were accusative. Nouns that followed this pattern are called first declension nouns. In this chapter, we will learn the plural forms that correspond to the singular forms that we already know, and we will learn a new declension, or group of words that follow a different pattern. We'll also talk a little bit about grammatical gender, which is related to declension. We already know how to take the nominative singular form of a first declension noun and make it accusative. If you take the word puella and want to make it accusative, or the direct object form, you add am to the end. Puella becomes puellon. In this chapter, we get the corresponding plural forms as well. The nominative singular form puella becomes puellae in the plural. So if multiple girls are doing something, this is the form you will use. The accusative plural ending is as. So if something happens to multiple girls, the form you use would be puellos. These same endings are used for all first declension nouns. So casa, which is house, would be casam in the accusative singular. The plural forms would be casai or casas. Not all nouns follow that am pattern, though. Another group of nouns, called the second declension, takes a different set of endings to indicate the cases. One example of a second declension noun is digitus, which is the Latin word for finger or toe. One finger is called digitus, while multiple fingers would be digiti. If something happens to a finger, you would use the accusative form, which is digitum, with a um ending. And if something happens to multiple fingers, the form you use is digitos. Other second declension nouns take these same endings too, like lupus or wolf. The different forms are lupus, lupi, lupum, and lupos. There is a catch to the second declension. Actually, a couple of catches, but we'll deal with them one at a time. Now, the base of a noun is the part of the word that you add your endings onto. If the base of a second declension noun ends in r, you do not add the normal us ending to make the nominative singular. Rather, you just leave the base as it is. An example is the word puer, which in the nominative singular simply appears as puer. You will see from the chart that the word has normal second declension endings that we would expect any second declension masculine noun to have, with the sole exception of the fact that there is no us in the nominative singular. There's another catch, though. For a lot of these words, the e before the r in a nominative singular will fall out in other cases. An example of this rule is the word auger, which means field. The plural of the word is not augeri, but rather augri, without the e. In words in which the e falls out, it will do so for all forms except the nominative singular. It's just a feature of the word. So the various forms of auger are auger, augri, augrum, and augros. Like many European languages, Latin nouns have grammatical gender. All nouns are either masculine or feminine or neuter. Sometimes declension of nouns roughly corresponds to their gender. So most first declension nouns are feminine. The word casa is feminine, the word puella is feminine. Philia is feminine. So is via, cana. However, you have to be careful. There are a few first declension nouns that are masculine, like agricola, which means farmer. Most second declension nouns are masculine, but there is an important subset of second declension neuter nouns. An example of this is example, or the Latin word for example, exemplum. An important rule for neuter nouns in the Latin language is that neuter nominatives are always identical to neuter accusatives. So the nominative of this word is not exemplus, but rather exemplum, the same as the accusative. The plural forms look a little strange to us. The nominative plural ending of a neuter noun is always a, and the accusative is the same. The only real way to know whether a word ending in a is first declension singular or neuter plural is to know the word. Is the word feminine or is it neuter? Your dictionary entry will tell you. It is a thing you will simply have to learn along with the word.